Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So my humble obeisance again to all the devotees who took their time to join, and very happy to be with all of you and to know that you're happy and healthy in Krishna consciousness. So we will chant these prayers called Mangalacharan, which you're all very familiar with, but for our purification and to get started, we'll do the extended Mangalacharan, since it's the day one of these sessions, you can sing. Om Agyantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Śrī Caitanya-Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahakana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namini Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daite Kripa Bandhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murte Dinatarini Rupanuga Viruddha Apasiddhanta Dhvantaharini Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Rasambode Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namini Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumistvam Nirdeshita Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratushe Namaha. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Jaitam Suratau Pangur Mama Mandir Matirgate Matsarvasva Padambojau Radha Madana Mohanau Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadruma Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanastau Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prishtali Visevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasarasarambi Vamsi Vatatatastata Karshan Venu Swanir Gopir Gopinatha Shriyestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So you might be wondering why we are meeting, right? I wanted, and I hope that this will be a very engaging, meeting or discussion or ishtagoshti, where it's not that I am speaking and you are hearing. Rather, we all speak, and so many mature Vaishnavas are here. And you all are very, very worshipable, elder, and senior to me in every aspect. So I certainly want to make sure that your valuable perspectives and inputs are well considered and taken. So feel free to add. And generally, I ask in the kids class that everyone has to keep the cameras on, because ideally we should be doing this in person, but we know that sometimes it's not possible even we want. But if you can keep the cameras on, if you're not driving, and if it's possible that for you to keep the camera, it's always better. It helps to have a meaningful and engaging conversation. And so that we are able to connect with each other better, right? So yes, you don't need to hide yourself. Yes, good. Yes, and it helps. Seeing a Vaishnava is such a great joy. So I just by seeing you, I get purified. Darshane pavitra koroe tumhara guna. This is very bona fide bhajan. This is the power of Vaishnava. So by seeing you, I'll get purified. So please help me.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhu. Sorry, I'm about to leave for airport.
Yes. I know some of you are driving, traveling. It's very, it's understandable. So safety is first. Yes. It's very important, that especially now, let's say there is ISKCON Tampa family, and the movement is growing, which is very good. More people are getting connected, correct? More programs are happening, more festivals are happening, more book distribution is happening, more bhakti rikshas are happening. Everything is very, very good. And we want that, right? That's how, and let the family grow. But at the same time, we want to make sure that the core members, which is all of you, some more also who couldn't join. In my definition, a core member is one who is actively doing sadhana and actively doing seva, right? That's in my definition. Who's doing both sadhana and seva actively, that's like a core member. Sadhana, swadhyaya, all the 5 S's, right? Who can say, oh, this is ISKCON Tampa core member. That means they have an active role. They are doing service. They are actively taking to the message of Srila Prabhupada, which is like chanting is like must, right? Chanting is the most important limb of bhakti. So at least chanting a few rounds, minimum 2, 4, 6 rounds, and gradually making plans to grow, right? We all have material ambitions, correct? We all have material ambitions, like when we are a 15-year-old, or some of your kids are of that age, and you ask them, what do you want to be in future? Like someone will say engineer, someone will say a doctor, lawyer, etc., which is all very nice. But at the same time, we should also have spiritual ambitions, correct? That I want to grow in my sadhana, I want to grow in my seva, I want to do this service or that service and things like that. That's rather actually more important. So we should have spiritual ambitions. We should have spiritual ambitions, and amongst that, so this meeting is not just like, or this discussion, this ishtagoshti, is not just like a one meeting which in silo. It is like we'll have this in series, because I somehow felt that we are not having discussion as core team, and And it's very important to stay connected to, as Prabhupada said, boil the milk, to make sure we all have connect and are completely aligned with our mood and mission, and ready to help and support each other and so that we can grow even more and more, right? Because each one of you has some people, or like you can say the community members, the well-wishers you are taking care of. But at the same time, it's important that we also are being taken care as the core team, right? Does it make sense? Maybe Sridham Prabhu or someone wants to add something. Please feel free to add. This is, as I said, not a lecture. This is more like a discussion.
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji. Definitely a meeting like this is very essential, I would say. Please proceed with the meeting, Prabhu. I mean, we will all chip in, but I fully agree that as a core team, even the other groups also, we all meet periodically for the Bhakti Viksha, other Om Satsang festival and so on. But this is a kind of a dedicated format, podium, where we all can share our thoughts and see how we can make ISKCON Tampa more spiritually vibrant and spread the preaching and the goals of Srila Prabhupada. Haribol.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. And in this meeting, this is just to kind of set the stage. We'll not go in the specifics. We'll not go in the specifics, oh, we have a Rath Yatra coming, what all we should do. That will be a separate, meeting or like a service oriented. We'll not go into, we'll go more understanding of the principles. So this is more of you can say training sessions, more like principle oriented rather than the detail oriented. Some of the very essential principles, like many of this was brought to my attention, that many devotees have deities, but it's very important to know, like, for example, how to take care of deities at home. Many of you are initiated or getting initiated or aspiring. So it's very important to understand the process of initiation, because we may have some thoughts in our mind, we may have some ideas, or we may have some hearsay, there's knowledge also. And often if it is not properly, the dots are connected, it can lead to confusion or misunderstanding or false information also. So these are the things, very, very important. These are like some of the things. And then more like rules and regulations also of bhakti. Prabhupada often emphasized on discipline, right? Disciple means discipline. Disciple means discipline. And Prabhupada often emphasized on the rules and regulations. Those rules and regulations are there in every domain of life, correct? For example, in driving, there are some rules and regulations, right? We have to follow the government's rules and regulations. In health, even if someone is going to gym, there are some rules and regulations. In eating, there are some rules and regulations. In academics, there is some procedure, like timing. You go to school, how to behave in the school, how not to behave in the school. There are some always do's and don'ts in every domain of life. And bhakti is such a important, generally we may not mention in the beginning, but all of you are not beginners. All of you are much, much advanced. And for some of you, it could be repeated information. So please pardon me for that. But I feel that the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. And the main thing is the foundation. It's not that when we come in the beginning of Krishna consciousness, we chant the Hare Kṛṣṇa Mahamantra, and after 10 years, the mantra changes, or after 20 years, the mantra changes. The mantra stays the same, right? Yeah, someone's seriousness and attention level may definitely change, but the mantra stays the same. And if we focus on those basics, in always, it is said, go stick to the basics, right? Go back to the basics. Have a strong foundation. And the strong foundation means the basics, right? And the basics of bhakti don't change, right? Like sadhu sangha, right? Like reading Prabhupada's books, like chanting the holy name, taking Krishna Prasad, etc. These are like the very, very core principles, and they will never change, whether someone is a sannyasi, whether someone is a 1 day old devotee or 100 day or 1 million day old. So in this kind of, you can say, training, discussion, meeting, whatever name you want to give, we want to cover many, many topics. And I just want to kind of first make a list. I have these some on my mind. And of course, there is no way we can cover this in one meeting. This is, as I said, we're setting the stage. We will cover a lot more topics. We'll cover a lot more things. But this is kind of like setting a stage, which is very, very important. So initiation, process, do's and don'ts, and everything tied to initiation. Rules and regulations, as I spoke about, it covers a lot. Deity worship, especially, we don't have a temple. We live in a community where we don't have a temple. So primarily we'll talk about deity worship at home. Vaishnava etiquette, very, very important. One of the 5 S's of bhakti is sadachar. And sadachar means Vaishnava etiquette, how we conduct ourselves. Acharan charati iti acharya. One who preaches by good example. Do you have any other topics which you feel that now Vaishnava etiquette covers a lot? It is just like a big term, like how to be in the temple, how to take prasad, how to dress ourselves, what not to talk, what to talk, what is Vaishnava Prad. It covers a lot of things. There's a whole book about this, how to offer bhoga, how to do arati, which will be more like in here. So it covers a lot of things, primarily tied to how to, why to, and things like that. But do you have, any of you want to share some more thoughts which are in your mind and you would like to know more about those? Please feel free to mention so that we can, in some session, cover it. Oh yeah, book distribution is a very, very important. So I will say MSF, book distribution, very, very important thing. Preaching. Very good. Anyone else wants to share any other topics which you would like to see? I'm not saying you're covering those today, but this is like a foundation session. So it's good to share some thoughts.
Prabhuji, one point, how to improve our sadhana or bhakti?
Very nice. How to improve sadhana. I'll keep sharing some nectar drops from Sadhu Sangha. Right? I'll keep sharing some nectar drops if you like, since they're fresh in my mind. Philip Prabhu and Vamsi Vilas Prabhu. I was standing there and they both come to me and they both show me a book. Not this book, but they show me a book. Hey Prabhu, did you see this book? Japa Affirmations by His Grace Mahatma Prabhu. And the Mataji standing there was telling, hey, would you like to improve your japa? And they both got that book. And it's a very good way. Like, who in the world will say, no, my japa is perfect. I don't want to improve my japa. so everyone got that book. And I like pulled my bag and I said, like, look at this. I already have it. I also just got that a few moments. So this is a very important topic. I was just reminded of that yes, this is very important. And by sharing, see, I may be sharing some things, but the main audience in my heart is myself, so that I can stick to the basics. And the basics of bhakti is good sadhana. Absolutely. His Grace Vashishika Prabhu says, we don't want to be a great devotee. We don't want to be a great devotee. Don't be a great devotee. Don't try to be a great devotee. Try to be a good devotee. Try to be a good devotee, and good devotee means great sadhana or great chanting. I really like that. Very nice. So some reference books which would be helpful here. Vaishnava Etiquette Manual. I have a PDF and it's free download available to anyone who wants. If you just search Vaishnava Etiquette Manual PDF, you'll get it. A lot of Prabhupada's quotes and letters we will cover in this. We will cover this book, very important book. Simple, basic, but as I said, the foundation is critical. So I would suggest it's very thin also, not, small book with only less than 100 pages. But it has every, it may not have all the details, but it has very, very nice things. Very, very nice things. So I would suggest, if you need this book or book distribution in charge, Sudhir Prabhu can help you get that. It should be available, or Ramaya Pran Prabhu can help you. And eventually later, for DT worship thing, DT worship at home, we will cover these two books, but we will cover that later. I have the PDF for this. VIHE means Vrindavan Institute of Higher Education. And there's a small white book also. They both are kind of same, but a little bit, additional details here and there. So, and we may keep adding to this list. Of course, there'll be a lot of, quotes from Bhagavad Gita, Bhāgavatam, etc., GBC letters, GBC communication, updates, etc. Right? Any thoughts, additions so far? Any questions?
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji, can we add to that list how to deal with disturbances in your spiritual life with your workplace or family members or anything like that?
How to deal with some of the examples you gave?
Like if you are in the workplace or you in your family and someone is disturbing you in your sadhana,
Sure. At the end of every session, we will open the room for questions. I think this can be more in the question answer session, which I'm not the only one who's going to answer. Maybe I'll at some point. There are wonderful souls here, as all of you. It is more like a family discussion. As I said, this is only for the core team. So we will have some sessions. And even if at that point for the Q&A sessions and stuff like that, if you want me to pause the recording or not record, due to any reason, I am very happy to do so. I can pause the recording also if you do not want that to be like a recorded thing. Yeah, so I'll be very mindful of that. What else? So any questions? So I would encourage that you at least have these books handy, study them thoroughly, and so you can add more insights if you need them. As I said, Sudhir Prabhu, Ramaya Pran Prabhu can help you get them. They are easy to get. Some of them are online available freely, and this book you can get by contacting us. And they're available in different languages also. Now, most of you speak English, but if you want a book in Bengali or Hindi or Telugu, this book is available in most languages also. And I would say even for outreach purposes, this should be a good manual to share for outreach purposes as well. So having few extra copies at your home, because every home is like an outreach center, especially like in our situation, we don't have a central building or a venue. So Prabhupada, it's kind of a blessing in disguise in one way that we have 25 temples, right? Because all of you are 25 core families, and all of you are sharing transcendental vibration. So you're all, the homes are like the source for transcendental vibration, basically, which is a temple is for. Anything before we move? So amongst the many topics we want to cover, we can only cover so much in any given day. And I thought, what shall be a good topic for today? And since in the last many months, a lot of discussions or questions have come about this topic of initiation. And some of you witnessed some initiations in the Sadhu Sangha also. So I want to take that topic, if that is okay for everyone. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what are the questions in your mind about initiation? Let's take a few questions. Then our hunger will increase to absorb the answers. Do you have any questions related to initiation? Genuine. You don't have to like make a question just to ask a question. You have any question related to initiation, especially initiation in ISKCON? How does it happen? Why does it happen? From whom does it happen? When does it happen? How long it take? I mean, anything. You don't have, I'm just sharing some examples. Anything you may have like question, you can type, yeah, or speak, whatever is easy. Yes, Sampata, please.
Hare Krishna. I had this question that does the Guru have to know us before they initiate us?
Okay, very nice question. Does the Guru have to know us? Very good. Anyone else has any question in this matter about initiation in ISKCON? Because if there's no question, that means you have all the answers. Then I will ask questions, right? Then there is no need to kind of cover, because maybe that is like, right? If no questions means everything is very clear. Correct?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, it's a general question, though that's why I'm asking also that what's the requirements in ISKCON to get Harinam initiation?
Yes, very good question. What are the requirements or prerequisites, you can say? Very nice. We'll cover that. Anyone else has any questions in this subject matter, initiation, diksha, what, when, how, where, all these?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, just wondering, is there a set time that one is supposed to follow these principles, or is it a number of years, or is there a number of months, or is it by, and who suggests one seeking initiation, who suggests them to the Guru? Is it someone else, or do they go to the Guru directly? So these are some questions I have.
Yes, I think you covered like 2-3 questions there. Like, is there like a, like by the day one you join ISKCON, is there like a first question, is there like a kind of timeline that in about 5 years you should be initiated, in about 10 years you should be initiated? And next is, how does that work? Like, do you approach a Guru yourself, or how does it happen? So I think this is a very good, these questions help to have a meaningful conversation. So I have covered, I quickly did that presentation, this presentation today. So it's not very like, you can say, designful or artistic. You may see sometimes some links or just like, like the content. So I hope that's okay. And the main thing is to seek the essence, which is the content. So today we will talk a little bit about initiation. Again, in an hour or so, we cannot cover everything about initiation, but we'll try to cover quite a few things. And I would encourage some devotees to read also. Let's read this maybe. Let's start with this. A small excerpt from Prabhupada's conversation. Who would like to read this?
I can read.
Yeah, Mataji, please.
Prabhupada, you go any room to this house, you will find simply Krishna consciousness. Rameshwar, preparing for the morning services. Prabhupada, that you can describe the whole day's program. Kevin Lahart. What's the purpose of that regime? What's the purpose of that? The rising at 4:30, the study, Prabhupada. It is to be accustomed in spiritual life. Just like in military, there is training equals to you must have time, this thing, this time, this thing. So any training means regulated life.
Yes, thank you. So Prabhupada often uses this word, military training, discipline. Disciple means discipline. Shishya means one who lives under the guidance of Guru. So very, very important to have these systematic, like military, there is a lot of rules. Prabhupada compared ISKCON as like you should have military discipline. Not really mean to be to miss the love and devotion, but we are not at the stage of Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti means spontaneous. We are trying to be sadhakas, to do sadhana under the guidance of Parampara, the bona fide Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya. So we have to follow the spiritual master, the Diksha Guru, Shiksha Gurus, etc., which means rules and regulations. So Prabhupada often uses these so that we can have a systematic study, reading, hearing, chanting. Okay. Let's read this small excerpt from another important, importance of Diksha. And can anyone read this? Yes, Upendra Prabhu, you can read this.
Importance of Diksha initiation. Janme janme sabe pita mata paya, Krishna Guru nahi mile bhaja hariye. In the transmigration of the soul of through different bodies, everyone in every form of life, be it human, animal, tree, or demigod, has a father and a mother in each incarnation. A mother and a father are not very difficult to obtain. The far bigger difficulty is to find a bona fide spiritual master and Krishna. Therefore, the duty of a human being is to capture the opportunity to come into contact with Krishna's representative, the bona fide spiritual master. Under the guidance of the spiritual master, the spiritual father, one can return home, back to Godhead. In other words, in the human form, one can achieve perfection. This is not possible for the animal species.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So the importance of initiation in the mother and father we get in an ant species, spider species, fish, all the species have mother, father, but pure Guru we only get in human species. And even in the human species, it's not that every human has a pure Guru or shelter of a pure Guru, very, very rare. So this is the real goal. Athatu Brahma Jagya. This is a real thing in human form of life, to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. And I would, so this is, as I said, this discussion is like a Bhakti Vriksha for the core members. And I will also assign some reading, some reflection activities. And I would also expect, it to be, when we talk about discipline, discipline means on time, first of all. Discipline is on time, that we attend classes. If we miss the class, then it's our responsibility to cover up for the missed class also, right? Due to whatever reason. I'm a little more stricter in the kids class, but all of you are very, very worshipable. I would suggest you take that responsibility for yourself, because this is very important, very, very important, my dear friends. Very, very important. I cannot emphasize how important it is. If we are not properly trained, how can we even communicate or reach out to others, right? All of you are preachers, all of you are sharing bhakti, all of you are distributing books, having bhakti vriksha programs, hosting programs. It's very, very essential for all of us to to all, including myself. I'm not excluding myself. And training is like a continuous process, right? Continuous learning, continuous improvement. So please take it sincerely. Please take it very, very nicely. If you miss a class, it's your responsibility and duty to hear the recording, ask question in the next one, to join on time. So, you know, like a serious student, you get what you give in. If you give it seriously and sincerely, you will get multi times more. If you take it, you know, okay, this is another thing Shubh Vilas is doing and somehow I have to show my face, then maybe this is not the right room. No one should join this for whatever little authority I have. I don't want to exercise that here. Because I will not assign any services here. I will not say do this seva, that seva. Anything I may assign is like a reading. Okay, you read this for your benefit or from, and I will also read that for my good. You write this homework or you do this reflection, right? Things like that. I will not say about any service. So I'm only here as your selfless servant, and all the designations are separate, right? At this point, we are just having a Krishna conscious discussion. And one of you, I would like to be the attendance coordinator to mark the attendance. So there will be 3 options there, right? Present, absent. And then there's a third option that you were absent, but you heard the recording. And you can communicate to the attendance coordinator that, yes, so you were absent due to whatever reason, but you heard the recording, right? And then there'll be someone who can like list the essence of the class. There will be a Bhakti Vriksha group for the core members. And in that group, we'll only talk about these sessions, question answers, discussions, like how most of you are in the kids class, and we communicate a lot of things about the kids class. When is it, some homework, some other special thing. So I want to make it at that level so that we all take it sincerely and we all get a lot out of it, right? Is it clear? Is it any thoughts, questions? There will be Sampada, if you can be the homework coordinator for this class, that will be helpful. So the homework, or not like homework, you call it like reading, whatever. So in the beginner's guide, there's a section called Guru and Initiation on page 19, 3-4 pages. It will take only 15 minutes to read. Please read that. It talks a little bit more about importance of Guru. We're not going in detail of why we should select Guru. We'll talk more a little bit on how we should select Guru, but a little bit why is mentioned in Prabhupada's books everywhere. Why we should have a Guru, right? And you're all very, very familiar. And one person I would like to take the responsibility as an attendance coordinator, right? To, at the end of the class, we know, because one of the reasons for that is I want to make it systematic. And after, you know, I take things a little bit personally sometimes, because if someone is coming to me and asking, hey, can you give me a recommendation, or can you, I want to see, are you taking this seriously, right? You know what I mean, right? If you are not attending these sessions and then you expect me to write a recommendation, then maybe I'm not the right person to do that seva. Does that make sense? And I want to be clear. This is, we are all friends. We're all my worship people. This is my service. So Prabhupada emphasized a lot on training. All our teachers emphasize a lot on training, and we have to emphasize. Because if we just say, okay, training and all rules and regulation, Bhakti is bhāv-grahi, Krishna is bhāv-grahi, so we don't need rules and regulations. Guess what? We will drift. We will certainly drift from the mood and the mission of Prabhupada. And so we want to, like in one of the classes in the Sadhu Sangha, as Vashishka Prabhu mentioned, keep yourself centered. If we are drifting a little here, bring back to center. If we are drifting a little here, bring back. So keep centering yourself, right? It's not always possible to be in the center or be like focused, laser sharp. Sometimes we may go a little here, a little there. The goal is keep aligning ourselves to the center. Yes. Who will be the attendance coordinator? Basically, you'll make an Excel spreadsheet. The rows will be the devotee names and the columns will be the dates. And then you'll mark, that's very simple process.
I can do, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Okay. So how many of you have heard this word GBC? Everyone has heard this? Okay, let's hear from all of you a little bit at this point. What is GBC? Let's hear. Most of you raise your arms. What is GBC? Yes, Maswati Mataji.
GBC, the full form is Governing Body Committee. And GBC actually is the body of Prabhupada. Prabhupada, our founding Acharya of ISKCON, made this GBC, and it's there are some rules and regulations which each and every sannyasi, senior devotees, and all the disciples and members of this ISKCON community has to follow. That's what I know, Prabhuji. Back to Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Very nice, very nice. You explained in essence, very nice. Let's go to the, I will often refer to this website because I want you to understand that whatever I'm sharing is not I feel, he feels, she feels, etc. It is what is coming from the sources, bona fide sources. So let's read this because it's very important for all of us to know. Would someone like to read who has not yet read?
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji, I can read.
Yeah.
I'm not driving anymore.
Okay, please do. Yes.
Dandava Pranam, devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. His Divine Grace, what is the GBC? His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, established the governing body commission to be the ultimate managing authority for the society. In ISKCON's Direction of Management, written on July 28, 1970, Srila Prabhupada states, as we have increased our volume of activities, now I think a governing body commission, hereinafter referred to as the GBC, should be established. I am getting old, 75 years old, therefore at any time I may be out of the scene. Therefore I think it is necessary to give instruction to my disciples how they shall manage the whole institution. They are already managing individual centers represented by one president, one secretary, and one treasurer, and in my opinion they are doing nice. But we want still more improvement in the standard of temple management, propaganda for Krishna consciousness, distribution of books and literatures, opening of new centers, and educating devotees to the right standard. Srila Prabhupada reaffirmed the position of the GBC in his final will, drafted in June 1977. The Governing Body Commission, GBC, will be the ultimate managing authority of the entire International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Through legal documents, training, and discourse, Srila Prabhupada clearly identified the GBC as the highest managerial body in ISKCON. At present, the GBC body is comprised of 34 members who are individually responsible for overseeing the management and spiritual standards of ISKCON centers in assigned geographic regions. GBC members also supervise specific projects, initiatives, and ministries. Following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, the GBC body convenes yearly in Mayapur, West Bengal for their annual general meeting, during which time they discuss proposals, specific issues, and projects within ISKCON, and pass resolutions by a way of voting process. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Very well. Thank you. Does that help? Anyone wants to add anything?
Yes, Prabhuji, I didn't know that that was in Srila Prabhupada's will, and it was obviously very important to him at the end of his material life, that he wanted to make sure that the movement was protected and maintained, and didn't stray. Like you said, you were saying earlier, if there aren't rules, we tend to stray away from them and sort of get lost again. So it's very important to him.
Right. The other day, me and Philip Prabhu were talking about this, that you can't open a coffee shop and call it Starbucks. Right? Can we do it? No. There is, like there are certain protocols you have to follow if you want to call your coffee shop as Starbucks, right? There is a proper system. There is like corporate Starbucks head office or something, right? There's this whole system, right? So ISKCON is also an organization, right? The O stands for organization. International Society is an organization, basically. And when an organization grows bigger, it certainly some systems and protocols are required, right? And few devotees, like were mentioning that even big corporations do not have such level of systems which ISKCON has. Like you go to any temple, 4:30 in the morning, the conch will blow and the darshans will open. Isn't that amazing? Sharp at 4:30. I mean, it may sound like nothing big, but 1,000 temples, all at their local time, 4:30 almost. There might be some little bit here, there due to certain local laws, but the systems are so every day, system, Mangalarti, how we offer this article, the sequence of articles and the systems, it's a lot. So it's a lot of work. So, GBC, and then there are ministries and like child protection ministry, DT worship ministry, cow protection ministry, book distribution ministry, and so much, So we can understand that how much ISKCON has over 1,000 temples, and then distributing prasadam to millions and millions, and preaching, distributing books in millions and billions, and so much work going on, spiritual work, so much, as Vishka Prabhu mentioned, that let's do everything to to uproot or to cause major damage to Kali Yuga. Yes, to cause major damage to Kali Yuga. How? Through all these activities. And to do that, it needs some structure. It needs certainly some guidelines, some support. Like there is ISKCON law and ISKCON guidelines. So that GBC is like the governing body commission. You can, any more thoughts on this? If anybody wants to add here or.
Prabhuji, I have one question. Like for each geographical position, there will be individual GBC, or is there something like one GBC across the location?
We read here just now that there is by geographical regions, assigned through geographical regions for overseeing. Let me open this again. At present, the GBC body is comprised of 34 members, some of them sannyasis, most of them Prabhupada disciples, some of them grihasthas, some matajis as well, who are individually responsible for overseeing the management and the spiritual standards of ISKCON Center in assigned geographic regions. So the answer is yes, because you can say that, like in any company, there is you can say, like I work for a property management company, right? They have properties in 30 states. And 80,000 sites. Now, can one person go in the details of 80,000 sites? Impossible, right? So every community has community managers, assistant community managers, right? That's, you can say, analogous to temple president, temple vice president, the core team, who are overseeing that area. Like we we know what's going on in Tampa. If someone asks, how is the book distribution going? Will the GBC person know? No, right? We send reports, we send periodically, like once a year, or sometimes. Then there is regional manager for those communities. Now, one community manager, like maybe 20 community managers may be in the regional. So in what we have, like the regional secretary, in our case, His Grace Ramya Prabhu. Now, he does not only go to Tampa, he also goes to Orlando, to Dillon, to Tallahassee. I mean, at this age, can you imagine how much he's doing to serve the mission? Traveling, we all know, is not easy, not fun, right? And he travels a lot, sometimes through the phone, sometimes, but he is, well, like, you may not be aware what's going on in Orlando, right? What's going on in D-Land. Maybe may go as a guest, take darshan and all, that's fine. But he's overseeing that. Now, the next layer is the regional. So now he has like a few regions, like Ramya Prabhu, as I mentioned, a few names. Now, GBC is like the next layer above him. So our GBC is His Grace Anuttama Prabhu, who is a Prabhupada disciple. He has come here. I think most of you have seen, and he is GBC for multiple areas, and ours is one of those, right? So for regional manager, you can say like the regional vice president. Now they have 30 regional managers reporting to him. So it's kind of like that, because it's an organization, so structure is required, right? Does that help? Shri Prabhu, if I'm in any way getting distracted or not to the point, please, you are my elder brother here, please correct me.
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhu. No, Prabhu, it's very good. It's a very relevant topic. We should know what is GBC. It's definitely the highest kind of senior devotees, Vaishnavas, who guide us in many ways, spiritually, organization-wise, even sometimes functionally. We have to deal with, as you rightly mentioned, Prabhu, this is an organization. As we all know, ISKCON, each ISKCON is registered with the local authorities as a corporation. So it's very important that there are certain rules, guidelines, certain procedure has to be followed. It may not be spiritual, because, for example, the ISKCON of New Tampa is an entity registered with the state of Florida. They are not so much concerned about the spiritual aspect of it, but they are very much concerned about the activities. Is it all under per the rules and guidelines? Is it really non-profit? Is it spiritual? That much they will know. So there are so many aspects of it. And Prabhu, personally, I have great admiration for GBC. I have known the term GBC for about maybe, I would say almost 20 years now. The first time I met with my Guru Maharaj, he used to say, like GBC. That time I didn't understand what was really GBC. But I have seen that GBC has become very professional. They have evolved tremendously. Like you mentioned earlier, it's managed very well, almost like a professional entity in many ways. So there is more to, do. There is always room for, development and improvement for all of us. But it's a great, I personally think we should all know a little more about GBC and will be more impressed. The things that they are trying to do. But initiation is a good topic, Prabhu, for today. So let us see how we can kind of bring that as the main topic. Or
Sure, Prabhuji. So there are a lot of, and I'm happy to share these slides. Thank you, Shri Prabhu, for re-emphasizing that. Do we think before buying ordinary things? What do you all say? Let's read this Prabhupada statement here. Who would like to read this?
Hey, Prabhuji, I'm ready.
Hmm.
Hare Krishna. The scriptures recommend that both the spiritual master and the disciple place each other under strict scrutiny before mutual acceptance. Since even ordinary household items are tested before acquisition, it is only an unfortunate fool who will fail to go through a testing period in the selection of his true spiritual master, who is the best friend of the living entities. The point is that one must not bring upon himself the calamity of having to reject his spiritual master. If one is prudent, he can avoid such a situation. Hare Krishna.
Very well. Thank you, Prabhu. This is Prabhupada's statement. Very apt, right? We do selection, right? We have all selected potatoes, maybe, right? How many have selected maybe a watch, correct? Or a phone. Now, as the thing gets the little more precious materially, we do more selection. Like, for example, buying a car, we'll not just buy like potatoes, correct? Or do you agree? Is it making sense? Like the level of scrutinizing will be much more to select a car compared to selecting a potato. Even if potato is a bad deal, okay, $2 wasted. Maybe next time I know I'm not going to go to this store. Not the end of the world. Okay, forget and not do it. But if it's a bad car, then the loss could be maybe $2,000, right? Then you have to sell it, or maybe 5,000. I don't know. Same buying a house, more scrutiny, more work required, right? You don't buy a house every day, so it's a lot of work, a lot of significant investment, significant time, energy, everything. What about selecting a spouse? There is a lot of selection. You don't just like like marry randomly, correct? There is a lot of match. Now, how much more it should be? All these things are temporary. All the other things we mentioned, even the spouse, right? The relationship will only last for maybe 10, 20, 50 years, correct? Till the last breath in the max, in the best case, right? 50, 70 years. But relationship with the spiritual master is eternal. So we should not do that randomly. We should do careful selection, right? And Prabhupada emphasized a lot. This is many of these slides I have picked directly from the ISKCON Disciple course, which most of you have done, but it's a good idea to reiterate. Before we take a guru, we should study him carefully to find out whether we can surrender to him. We should not accept a guru suddenly out of fanatism. That is very dangerous. The guru should also study the person who wants to become a disciple if he or she is fit. That is the way of relationship is developed. Very important. In the Hari Bhakti Vilas, Sanatana Goswami has directed that the spiritual master and disciple must meet together at least for 1 year, so that the disciple may also understand, here is the person whom I can accept my guru. And the guru can also see, here is the person who is fit to becoming my disciple. So in short, there is, I call this as like a period of like a marriage. It's like a spiritual marriage. In marriage, what happens? Like first there is like selection. First, like a prospective spouse, right? How do the parents select, or sometimes the bridegroom, they themselves select whom they want to marry, correct? First, there is like maybe 5 potential candidates, right? Or potential people. Then they'll maybe talk to understand about them, their habits, their, and then there is a period, what is called the engagement, correct? So engagement in ISKCON is like the shelter ceremony, or padashraya. Most engagements would end up in marriage, correct? But sometimes they don't. So marriage is like the initiation. So most times the person, they have taken the shelter, they will end up taking initiation. Everything is good. They observed each other more, they understood each other more, and they want to strengthen that relationship through marriage, which is basically initiation. But sometimes they realize that maybe maybe I'm not the right fit for this guru, or maybe the guru is not the right fit for me, whatever reason, or maybe that he is great, you are nice, but still the connection is not happening, which is also possible, right? And then it is fine. And that's why this observance period is required. Therefore, we should not hurry, correct? And there are a lot more quotes in this regard. There's a lot of this topic is very big, and there is a lot of like details mentioned about how to select guru, whom to select guru. We'll talk about some reasons as well. Why not to select guru, or what should not be the criteria of selecting guru. But in general, like Bhasati Mataji was asking, what is the process, the steps for selecting guru? So any devotee who comes in ISKCON, they come through someone, like someone told you, hey, please come for this program, or you heard this on Facebook or some kind of email, Gmail. Somehow you got to know of ISKCON through books, through media, through something, through prasad. And then I'm talking about some stages even before here, right? This happens after. So your first encounter with ISKCON, right? Your first encounter with devotees. And then those who are sincere, they will be connected to some devotee, for sure, if they're not just casual visitors, right? Many could be casual visitors, oh, we just go to temple, come back, we don't talk to anyone. That is also fine, something better than nothing. But those who are sincere, they'll start talking. They'll say, okay, what is this going on? What is ISKCON? Who is this personality? Who are these Gaur Nitai deities? They'll start asking questions, correct? Why do we chant Hare Kṛṣṇa? What is Hare Kṛṣṇa Mahamantra? They want to know more. I also want to chant Hare Kṛṣṇa. Oh, I'm also struggling with these challenges. So they'll start chanting. 1 round, 2 round, 3. And I'm sure someone connected them, right? Some person connected them, or some books connected them. Books connect eventually to person, right? To the temple, to the person. And if someone is serious, Prabhupada mentions this in the Dhruv Maharaj story, someone is serious, Krishna will send him the right guru. Like Dhruv Maharaj was seriously looking for the right guru, Krishna arranged for Narad Muni. If we are serious, Krishna will arrange. So they will get connected to a devotee, to a Prabhu, to a Mataji, etc. And then they will start to go deeper in their practice. They will encourage them, hey, you should hear Prabhupada's lectures. Hey, you should start reading Prabhupada's books. You should try to come for programs like Bhakti Vriksha, etc. Correct? And if they take it, they continue to take it sincerely, their surrender will grow, their bhakti will grow, their everything will grow. And at some point, they naturally get Prabhupada Ashray. After, if they're seriously doing this path, then their guide, their mentor, will request them, now they will certainly tell them about Prabhupada, must tell them about Prabhupada. The ISKCON, the foundation of ISKCON is Prabhupada. Prabhupada's body is ISKCON. Any new person comes, within, I would say, days or weeks at max, they should be knowing about Prabhupada. Correct? At least something. They may not know the whole biography of Prabhupada, but at least something that Prabhupada, ISKCON means Prabhupada. Prabhupada means ISKCON. They're inseparable. And then that devotee will request that Prabhupada is a little bit explained. That when I say that devotee, is basically all of you who are Bhakti Vriksha leaders, who are mentors, who are sharing, right? So you should share them about Prabhupada's pranam mantra, that you should chant this before chanting, you should chant this during offering bhoga, etc. We should coach them, we should mentor them, we should guide them. This word coach, mentor, guide, special friend, well-wisher, I may use them interchangeably, but they all mean the same. Correct? They all mean the same in my eyes, that someone is helping them to grow in bhakti. And we all should have a mentor, friend, guide. and we should be also guide to someone. His Grace Kalakanta Prabhu, Sadhu Sangha Nectar, mentioned this in the initiation class at Sadhu Sangha. We all should be acharyas. The world needs millions of acharyas because there are so many people in this world, like 8 billion-ish, correct? And right now, there are only handful devotees. If you count off on 8 billion scale, like less than 1% or 0.1% are sincere core devotees. So we need a lot of acharyas. So everyone, all of us should take responsibility of at least 10. At least 10 people, where you are the main person who is helping them in their bhakti journey. Is it doable? What do you think? You may say, oh, I am so new, I don't know myself either. That is fine. We don't need to be sannyasi to start preaching. We don't need to be a paramhamsa. Whatever little we know, that's what I'm also trying. It's not that I'm a pure devotee, and no means I have so many shortcomings. But this is our way to offer service to Prabhupada and to our teachers. Whatever little I know, I'll try my best to share with all my shortcomings, without duplicity, and not proclaiming myself to be a deliverer of the fallen souls. In no way, I'm myself so fallen. But honestly, whatever little we know, whatever we are trying, share with others and take genuine responsibility of at least 10 people, or start with at least 5, I would say. What do you all think on that? And then you think, so if you take of 10, like Ramya Prabhu is taking of 10, then the next layer 10, next layer 10, right? That's how we have to work. Now, take Tampa's example. We have at least 500 contacts, minimum 500 contacts, right? Who have come to one or the other of the programs. Could be Bhakti Vriksha, could be Sadhu Sangha, could be Damodar programs, Gita class, this class, or child kids sessions, right? They are somehow connected to ISKCON temple. Make sense? Now, is it possible for me as an individual to follow up with those people? No. So what's the right approach? What should be the right approach? Any thoughts?
We all should pitch in at some point and contact devotees who have some connection with us and take it from there.
Yes, certainly. If everyone takes 10 people's responsibility, who are then, if we have, let's say, 30 devotees here, some of couldn't join because of the classes and then the travel, but we still have 30, I would say minimum 30 members in the core team. And same, I request for Jackson community also, everyone take responsibility for 10 people. Those who are at least chanting a few rounds because they are themselves sincerely trying, and they have a sincere desire to help. Then only they'll grow. Then only we will grow. If we take responsibility of others to help them in their Krishna consciousness, Krishna will help. Radharani will help us to help us to grow more in bhakti. So back to this, please consider those steps, and then that becomes basically the Prabhupada Ashraya. Now, if you say this is like Diksha, the minimum requirement is chanting 16 rounds and following 4 regulative principles. And one must try to get there. Philip Prabhu asked this question. Is there like a timeline? How quickly one should, or how late one can get to 16 rounds? There is no one answer to that. I have seen devotees come to 16 rounds in 16 days. Trust me, I've seen some. And I've also seen 16 rounds. They are in ISKCON for 16 years and maybe chanting 2 rounds. With no offense to them, right? We are no one to judge anyone, right? Everyone will take their pace. But a sincere soul will not delay matters. Correct? Life is short. Who knows? We have, Prabhupada quotes this, 7 days Parikshit Maharaj had. Who knows? We have 7 hours. A sincere soul does not want to procrastinate. We were so inspired in the Sadhu Sangha. 12-year-old girls taking initiation, second initiation, oh my God. And their gurus are glorifying them for their guru nishtha. 12 years, 14-year-olds, young girls. So my idea is that one should take it the sooner the better. Absolutely, full permission given. If this is not a kids class, if you would have been like 5 years old, I would have said, okay, maybe you wait till 10 years. But all of us are, some are in 30s, some in 40s, 50s, 60s. So we already have crossed a significant portion of our life. If we go by statistics, let's say 70, 80 years like lifespan, a significant portion is gone. And the prime portion is gone, correct? Youth is the prime portion. Prahlad Maharaj says, Kumaracharit Pragya. So now the days which are left are not very youthful, are not very energetic. So we have to see that I must not delay it further. Now, I'm not saying take it tomorrow. I'm not saying take it 1 year. I'm giving a principle. How you apply it is your sincerity. But if you want to take incremental steps, which I like, continuous improvement, incremental process improvement, incremental life improvement, some devotees do it this way. Whatever rounds we are currently chanting, let's say you're chanting 4 rounds, let's say you're chanting 6 rounds, you can take a vow. Every Ekadashi, I will increase 1 round. Very nice, sober, sustainable vow. For every month, I will increase 1 round. So if you do every Ekadashi 1 round, in 1 year, you will come to 16 rounds for sure, because there are 23 Ekadashis, right? Oh, no, more 26, I think. Correct? 26 Ekadashis. How many Ekadashis are there, bro?
At least I would say 24 to 26, depending on the year.
2 weeks. So how many weeks? 52 weeks. So 26 Ekadashis. 52 weeks are there. Every 2 weeks. Approximately 26 Ekadashis. Even if you want to do every month, I will increase 1 round. In 1.5 years, you'll be chanting 16 rounds. So I'm giving some suggestions. I'm not. They are like gradual, like step by step. Take a step. You can consider. Someone is too young, let's say a 5-year-old, 7-year-old. They can say every birthday I will increase 2 rounds. Not bad. Even if at 5 years they're chanting, let's say 5 rounds, and every birthday they increase 2 rounds. So in about 13 years, they'll get to 16 rounds. Correct? Which is a very nice thing. So you develop a process. But if the age is less, let's say we're already 50 years old, then we should not delay further, because already a significant portion of life has gone. Correct? Intelligent person does not want to delay. Correct? Okay. So basically, the first is the pre-initiation period, and the Padashra, you can say, then if one is stably chanting 16 rounds and has taken Prabhupada's shelter happens much before that. Correct? One is already doing Prabhupada's mantra, like all of, whether you're initiated or not, I'm sure you're all chanting Prabhupada's mantra at least 5 times a day in every month, chanting and offering and multiple, like getting up, sleeping, before sleeping, after getting up, we should chant Prabhupada's mantra multiple times a day, right? So Prabhupada Ashra is there. Prabhupada is our preeminent Shiksha Guru and will remain for 10,000 years. Very, very important. Very, very important. Now, there are some, you can say, people who say Prabhupada is our Diksha Guru. That's a totally different subject and it needs a lot more deeper understanding. We'll reserve that for some other day. And there are a lot of like offshoots, you can say, from ISKCON who believe in that system. We will carefully and with the right words try to handle that in a future session. Okay, but our principle is we need living Diksha Guru, living person who's living, right? We certainly have Prabhupada as our preeminent Shiksha Guru, and we have other Shiksha Gurus also, right, who help us to get connected, right, who are training us, who are guiding us, who we are hearing their classes. We can have multiple Shiksha Gurus, but we need one Diksha Guru. So just to recap a little bit, the connection gradually progressing, then coming to 16 rounds, coming to following 4 regulative principles: no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex, and no meat eating, etc. Then, and even if one is on the stage, one can search for the Guru. Like let's say you're sincerely chanting 8-10 rounds and you want to get to 16 rounds and you are genuinely progressing, you can begin your search, because you know it's not a quick thing. You'll not like, for example, you are financially getting ready to buy a home, but you know you'll be ready in 6 months. You're not ready yet, but but it's okay to begin the search. Understand which home I should get, correct? Does that make sense? Same way, like you're not ready for marriage, but you want it, it takes maybe 1 or 2 years to search a bride or a groom. So you can begin the search. So you can begin the search, and that's basically the search for the initiating spiritual master, or Diksha Guru. Now, this is again going back to the GBC website. There is a list of 97 initiating spiritual masters. So let's say 100 spiritual masters. Okay. Now, they're all very, very great souls. That's why their name is here. Correct? And all this, I can share the links and stuff. You may know a few names. To be honest, I also know only 10 or 20 names here. Because it's impossible and impractical to know every 100, most of them are Prabhupada disciples, some sannyasis, some grihasthas, some are the next generation, or you can say the next, like Prabhupada's grand disciples, the disciples of Prabhupada disciples, quite a few there. If we are in ISKCON, right, which all of us are, ISKCON is a bona fide, following the Guru Parampara, Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Parampara. And if we are getting shelter of ISKCON, we are getting training in ISKCON, I would say it's very natural we should take initiation in ISKCON. Is that correct? Fair? Sridham Prabhu, it's fair?
Absolutely, Prabhu. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Now one may say, is ISKCON only the bona fide parampara? No. There are other worshipable spiritual masters outside ISKCON. We respect them. We have all the respect for them. There are 4 paramparas, which all of you know. But now, should we take initiation there? Because they are also bona fide. That's a little tricky question, and I'll try my best to answer. If someone is connected there, we respect them. But if we are connected here, and if we try to go outside, that's not a good idea. Saying, oh, there's a problem, that's done. Because the problem, if it is there, is not in the gurus. The problem is something there, is here. Correct? So if you take initiation from any of these 97 devotees, and you're getting training under ISKCON, they'll be very happy. But if you go and take an initiation outside ISKCON from a bona fide parampara, we'll be okay, but not very pleased, right? It's like someone is giving your heart and soul, and you decide to, basically to stop that connection, correct? Or to stop, like, I'm using my words a little carefully here so that I do not cause any offense to anyone. They are very bona fide. There are many bona fide gurus outside ISKCON. But I would say, if we are loyal to ISKCON, ISKCON has nurtured us. Prabhupada has nurtured. Prabhupada's disciples, grand disciples have nurtured us selflessly, giving their time, love, attention, care. Then we should be loyal. Correct? And if we take initiation outside ISKCON from a non-bona fide sampradaya, then it's like really bad. Sridhar Prabhu, you want to correct me?
No, Prabhuji, you are right. Since we are talking about initiation, if I may take a couple of minutes and just share my experience and thoughts and experience, I might have already shared with some of you. I always think about what Srila Prabhupada used to say, that initiation is not the ultimate, it is the beginning. We should not think that, oh, I'm just going to, several devotees have taken initiation, so I'm also going to just take initiation, I'm done with that. No, that's the kind of we are getting into a family, Srila Prabhupada's family, and that's the beginning. And because the spiritual Krishna consciousness has to go on, it's never stagnant. We're going to do better and better. If we are chanting 16 rounds, we have to see that how we can chant 16 rounds more qualitatively. If you do kirtans, if you do deity worship, how we can pour more love to Krishna and so on. Again, going back to the initiation, my thoughts are that we should never do it under any compulsion or under any even influence, I would say. But what we might want to do is that we might be inspired. Inspiration is the best thing rather than even being influenced. Inspiration is spontaneous, like our Shubhavilas Prabhuji was just saying. If we think that this is the process we like, this is the process we want to be, then it's a very natural thing. Even Krishna says, Evam parampara prapta. It is better that we follow than this. This kind of a process. Personally, devotees, I delayed it very much. I met my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Dhanvir Goswami Maharaj, in 2004. There was a temple there. I'm talking about Kansas City, Midwest. I had a very kind of a close association with him. I used to travel with him. I had the opportunity to listen to his lectures, various discussion. I was involved in various seva for the temple and so on. But believe me, some of the initiation did not happen. I didn't even think about initiation. And after 14 years, I would say, don't be discouraged. As Shubhavilas Prabhuji said, it's better to take the initiation as soon as possible. Because if you're going to do an auspicious thing, why should you postpone it? The sooner the better, good things. So anyhow, after 14 years, I got initiated by my Guru Maharaj on a very auspicious day, Gaur Purnima day, with almost 6 other God brothers inside the temple with kirtans and all senior devotees and so on. But as things would work out, after I got the initiation, after about 3-4 years, I moved out of Kansas City. So the physical, I don't have the interaction with Guru Maharaj, but his blessings and his guidance is always with us. And as Shubhavilas Prabhuji said, the Guru is not just a temporary connection. It's an eternal connection. Already Krishna has made that. What we are doing in this initiation is that we are making it little more formal. That's it. It's that. It's already, we all have a Guru. We have to just go for it. And in that way, I have been experiencing kind of some other, like the Hindu temples and the other parampara also. I personally think ISKCON parampara is very well structured. Everything is there. It's a life transformation. What we eat, what we chant, what we speak, how do we associate, everything is laid out so nicely. So there is really no room for speculation. We don't have to speculate. That's the best thing I found in ISKCON. That I mean, there are some doubts always. Why this? Why cannot? Why GBC did this? Or, you know, why this temple did that? Why this devotee did not guide me? Those are all okay. But the best thing is that there is really spiritually, philosophically, you are very well supported. So going back to the initiation, yeah, please take your time. There is no rush. Get inspired. And then Guru will automatically, I heard this from one of the senior devotee, Krishna will send you the Guru and the Guru will take you to Krishna. So everything is very nicely arranged. All we need to do is that be there at the right time, at the right place. And, you know, everything will work out nicely. And ISKCON temple has got so much opportunity, so much. I mean, that's one unbelievable, it's such a spiritual, you know, big opportunity for all of us. Senior Maharaj coming, so many senior devotees here. We have a GBC representative dealing with us on a very regular basis. We have one of the biggest congregation. Then I'm in North America. Alachua Temple is just, you know, a couple of hours drive away. So it's an amazing opportunity. So I think we should all get inspired. So that's all I had to say, Prabhu.
Wonderful. Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing your amazing experiences. Right. So now, like the next step, like how will we get to know, right? That's a practical question which may come. So we don't know these 100 names, but I guess you may know some names out of these 100. And Krishna will guide you also. So you can add a prayer to Prabhupada and Krishna. Please help me to reach to the right Guru, my right Diksha Guru. There are, and when we hear, like expose ourselves so that we can hear about them, meet them, like events like Sadhu Sangha, there's so many gurus coming there, events like Kirtan Festival, Yatras, etc. If we are naturally feeling inclination, inspiration, we should expose ourselves to those opportunities so we can get to see them more, hear them more, right? That's a natural way of getting to know through hearing. The emphasis is on hearing. There are certain reasons which should not be the criteria of selecting Guru. Let's go through them. Okay, this Guru is from the same country, color, background, language, etc. as I am. So I will take this Guru. I am from India, this Guru from India, so, you know, good match. No. The Guru is not for like these reasons. These are all material reasons. Oh, this Guru gives Diksha faster than others. Oh, if I take Guru Diksha from this Guru, I'll get initiation in maybe 1 year. If I take from this Guru, someone told me you'll get in 5 years, so I want it quick. Unless someone is in a really critical situation, like a terminal disease or something, exceptions are always there, right? And I have seen some of the gurus who are, they have initiated after a Bhagavatam class, right? Just immediately. The lady came, I won't give the names here. the Guru was giving the Bhagavatam class, someone came that this lady has only 2-3 days left. Right there and then got the spiritual name, after a few days left the body. So it's exceptions are always there. One lady was at the deathbed. The Guru gave her spiritual name on the phone. So, but we don't have to count on those exceptions. Unless our case is like that. But these should not be the reasons. Emotional, immature decisions, sentimental. Oh, I really like the way he talks, or I really like, he has many followers, right? Or my temple president, my mentor, my Shiksha Guru, etc. is initiated from this Guru, right? That's not a good reason either. I personally, all of you are Sakshi of that. I have never told anyone to take initiation from, my Guru or this Guru or that Guru. And as you as leaders should also never do that. It is offensive and it will bind us. So please be mindful. You can always suggest, because if the person is confused, 100 names, where should I go? Where should I start? Then you can say, okay, you can try to hear, like for example, sometimes the practical considerations are also there. For example, a person only speaks Hindi language, correct? They do not know any other language. Now, it's very natural that they cannot understand English, right? And let's say about 50 of the gurus cannot speak any other language other than English. So it's pretty natural that there won't be a good match there. Correct? Makes sense? Logical? If they speak only English and I speak only Hindi, there is no way I can understand that message, or vice versa. So naturally, then they may come to me, oh, can I, get initiation from someone who speaks Hindi? Now, you may not know in that list of 100, but I can help you. Okay, these are the 5 names. You should start hearing their classes. They speak Hindi, and you may, whatever your heart inspires, you can proceed accordingly. That is fine. That is acceptable. Right, Sridhar Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, there are some practical consideration also. And as you very rightly mentioned, Prabhu, language is a very, very key factor in such cases. I have personally seen many, especially the elderly devotees especially from India and countries like India and Bangladesh, there might be some language restriction. And in those cases, definitely they have to look for somebody whom they can really, interact, listen to their lectures and their guidance and so on. Definitely.
Yes. And hearing lectures, like attachment to their Vani is very critical. Because there will be a time, like firstly, even if any Guru in ISKCON, everyone is super busy, right? It's not that you pick your phone, hey, Guru Maharaj, should I take my prasad? Hey, Guru Maharaj, how are you doing? Did you land safely? That's not the conversations we have, right? So the point is they're all engaging everything in Krishna's service. They have a lot of responsibility. Some may have 1,000 disciples, some may have few hundred disciples, some may have 10,000, some may have 50,000 disciples. And now you can imagine the kind of responsibility they are taking on their shoulders. It's a lot. It is a lot. Now we have to be mindful. If we say, oh, I want a little bit closer connection with my Guru, correct? In person, I mean. Firstly, the connection should always be based on Vani more, because there will be a time, no matter how much close connection you may get now, there will be a time you will not be able to get that close connection. I hope you all get what I'm trying to say. So the connection with Vani is always important. But that doesn't mean that we should not have eagerness to have the Vapu connection. Till the time allows, we should be very eager to meet our spiritual master, to hear in person. In-person hearing is a million times better than YouTube hearing, correct? So we should show that eagerness whenever time, circumstances allow, and we should try to plan that in advance, right? And be eager for those events, for those festivals, for those opportunities. And while we can't do, we will hear the Vani, the lectures, the recordings. So we can suggest some names as their servant and well-wisher. The mood should be, I just want their genuine good. Right? What is, in praying to Krishna, if we are in that mentor, leader, friend role, I just want their genuine good, and that's why. And if you're not sure what to do, you can always approach to your mentor and directly connect them and things like that. It's always a safer idea when you're not sure what to do. When you're asked a question, you're not sure how to respond. It's always safe that I'm also learning, but I can connect you to someone who can help. They can connect them to those who are guiding you. So hearing, that's a key take. Start hearing from someone who is already inspiring you, or start hearing. And when we hear, we get to know about them. If they have some books on their biographies and autobiographies and things like that, read. Try to know more about them, right? Try to understand, all these 97 devotees mentioned here, there may be some changes as per certain GBC, and if whatever we follow is we follow GBC. If there are some changes which are not updated on their website, we will communicate you that. Because but yeah, if you take any of these from the list mentioned, that is great, very noble. So there are a lot of criteria of, is that the right guru? Like, that is already, you can say GBC has done that part for us, right? So GBC has already done their scrutinizing and everything. If they are all bona fide gurus, if we take from any of those, we will be in good hands for sure. There is no doubt in that, correct? But even in that 97, we can take only one. So how to select that one we're talking about, so that we are mindful of. Okay, so I want Diksha from Sannyasi, Vanprastha, or Grihastha, right? That's also not a healthy criteria. These are some funny criterias, but things happen, so we have to know. Oh, he has many followers, right? Material allurements given by disciples. Oh, like this could be for many people sometimes in India, this may be, oh, this guru has a lot of disciples in US. If I get Diksha from this guru, then I'll also go US trip. Or that Guru Maharaj is a nice disciple. This is more for unmarried people, and I somehow like that Prabhu or like that Mataji, and he or she is a disciple of that Guru, so let me also take initiation from that Guru, so my likelihood of getting married to that person increases. Not a good idea. I may get a good wife, etc., facilities, anything material, right? Oh, he sings and behaves sweetly, emotional attachment. Oh, he's Indian. Oh, he's American. Oh, no, I'm Indian, I'm American, all material criteria. He has academic achievements. Oh, he's PhD. Oh, he was a CEO in past, right? Or I can get initiated quickly. So all these are not good ideas, not good criteria for selecting Guru. What is a good criteria? Sincere prayers, hearing from them, reading about them, knowing them more. Take your time, no hurry. We'll take a pause to see if there are any comments or thoughts there. Mentors, leaders, Shiksha Guru should not push or force any Guru upon their mentees. Make sense? Like, I will not say, hey, Sampada, because I am your teacher, you come in my class, you have to take initiation from this Guru. Very bad idea, very offensive. when is the disciple? Let's say now we are talking about, we have to get to 16 rounds. That's a minimum. Like the clock starts from there. Like the waiting period technically starts from there. So you can't say, oh, I'm in ISKCON for 10 years, but somehow they don't give me initiation. And I ask, okay, how many rounds you're chanting? 2 rounds. Sorry, you can be a devotee in ISKCON, right? But the initiation has guidelines. So we can't say, oh, he's in ISKCON for 10 years, not initiated. Well, if they chant 2 rounds, it can be for 25 years or 30 years, they will not get initiation. The clock starts if they are chanting 16 rounds, they are following 4 related principles, and they want to get sincere that next step, which we should, then they start, okay, they approach that guru. If they have now the selection, we have talked enough about selection, hearing, reading, etc., knowing, meeting them, going to those events, etc., living guru, right? Then we should, when then we come to, then devotees may come to even short list, okay, like 1 or 2. They both are equally, like my friend or Advaita Prabhu, who did the kids class, he told me, like, he was first he had this big list, then he shortlisted 3 who were very, very dear to him. And then he was thinking and had more conversations, more interactions, more hearing. And with all of 3's blessings, he picked 1. It was very beautiful. So it's not that, let's say you have 3 gurus in mind and you take from 1, other 2 will be offended. Hey, why you didn't become my disciple? No, it's all one family, right? It's all one family. If you go outside, then yes, they will feel a little bad. I will feel bad. Like, if somebody goes outside ISKCON, I will feel bad because I care, I value, I am attached for her spiritual growth. Right? And if someone stops practicing bhakti, I will feel bad. Maybe I didn't do a good job. Maybe I didn't do her service to him or her properly, that they had to make this choice of leaving bhakti. But if they take initiative from any of those, we are happy, they are happy. So this is also, it will come through hearing, reading, talking, inspiration, meeting, etc. If someone wants to take, let's say, they want to have in future more connection, they like, when they want to, like some gurus have 50,000 disciples, let's say, or 10,000. Now it's logistically not possible. But if you're happy with the Vani, that's fine, right? And as I said, that's a more important connection. But if someone says, no, I want to have at least some years of in-person connection also, then you pick guru who can provide you that. There are certain gurus who can give you that. They may have 100 disciples, 200 disciples, 300 disciples. They have basically little more room or little more bandwidth to do that. Or you can also take shiksha from them. Absolutely fine. You can accept one, as Advaita Prabhu told me, they can accept one as Diksha Guru, and take other 2 as like spiritual uncles, right? Like his own as Hare Kṛṣṇa Goswami Maharaj is a spiritual master, Diksha Guru. His own as Indradul Maharaj, his own as Radhanath Maharaj, they're like spiritual uncles. Which we all need spiritual uncles. We all need these Shiksha Gurus. Absolutely fine, recommended, totally bona fide. They are happy. Everyone is happy. Okay. Questions?
এখানে করিস না, আমি কথা বলছি, যা একদম তোকে যেতে হবে। হরে কৃষ্ণ।
Saraswati Mata ji.
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji. Very nice discussion, Prabhuji, and you very clearly explained about what should we, how we'll select gurus and what should we not consider and what should we consider to choose a guru, Prabhu. So it's very helpful. That's what it is. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you. I'm just repeating. Yes, Mata Sempada Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you for this amazing discussion. I had this one question. What is the difference between the first initiation and the second one?
Very nice question. So first initiation is also called the Harinam Diksha. So after taking shelter, now let's go back to the process a little bit. So let's say you are chanting 16 rounds and you have Prabhupada shelter, which all of you have. You're chanting 16 rounds, following 4 regulative principles, and you took your time and you selected one guru. Let's say so-and-so Maharaj, so-and-so Prabhu, you have selected. Then it's called the shelter ceremony, the Guru Padashraya. That's like the engagement. In a marriage, it's an engagement, Guru Padashraya. From that day, at least 6 to 12 months, sometimes like 1 year is encouraged, as we read in a month. There is like the, now what do you call? The period of observance. You get to know more Guru, Guru gets to know you more. You will be talking and hearing more classes and getting the Guru to, you are following 16 rounds and doing everything that's continuous. Your under Shiksha Gurus continues. And then after 1 year or so, sometimes it may take even 2 years. Some cases it may even take 3 years. Again, Diksha is not a commodity we buy. Oh, now I have all the prerequisites. ISKCON disciple course done, Guru shelter done, 16 rounds done, 4 rounds, 4 principles done. Now they must give me initiation. Very wrong idea. Hey, I have been chanting for 3 years. They're not giving initiation. No, initiation is received. Diksha is given, not bought. It's not like a, hey, I have $10,000 to buy a car, so I can buy a car. You cannot deny my right to buy a car. That's true for car. That's true for potatoes, but Diksha is not like that. The disciple always feels, I'm not ready. The disciple always feels, I'm not ready. That's a very good thing. The disciple should not be, hey, I've been in 3 years. Why are you asking me questions? And there are a lot of interviews also, my dear friends, because there is a thing called recommendation letter also required by a temple president or authorities. And my parents, I'll give this example. They had 4 interviews, one after the other, one after like every one. Their initiation took like 4 years after they had taken Guru Padashraya. Trust me, it's not easy. But that just helps to prepare us more, and so that we don't take it cheaply. We don't take it cheaply. Only serious candidates go, because anything wrong, if the disciple stops following bhakti later, there is karma to the Guru. So we should not take it initiation as a fashion. Oh, my friend is initiated, I should take. It's a serious business. The serious thing. So we should not delay too much. At the same time, not hurry also. Not hurry in the sense, know what I am doing. Be mindful of what I'm getting into. Of, that I'm taking a vow. Vow means, heaven or hell, I won't give this up. Life or death, I won't give this up. That means vow. So 1 year is the observance, and there are interviews. Interviews, we should be grateful for the interviews, that the senior devotees are helping me to improve me to be offered to Guru. Right? There was, I won't say any names, but one person, he asked me if I could, write a recommendation for them. I said, okay, I would like to have an interview. So I know you a little more, and I can write all the things appropriately, because I want to write the exact truth. And he said, I've been in ISKCON for 5 years. I asked you for a recommendation. He like kind of gave me left, right. Like, what do you think? That's why I don't like ISKCON. That's why this. That's why, like he took my interview. It's not an interview. It's more like a discussion, question, answer, getting to know. Like, you may name it anything, but it's important. So that's also one thing, ISKCON disciple. But again, It may take a few years. So let's say now the first initiation happens. Sorry, I'm giving a long answer to your short question. The first initiation happens, Harinam initiation. After that, then the disciple maturely is following all the do's and the don'ts, the rules and the regulations for at least 1 to 2 years, I would say, minimum 1 to 2 years. And then there is now this Brahmanical initiation, or it's not required for everyone. First of all, it's not like class 1, class 2. By class, if you're in class 1, you naturally go to class 2 after. It's not like that. You may find some devotees who are initiated like for 20 years, and they are initiated for 20 years for first. That is absolutely fine. It's not wrong. It's, this Harinam initiation will certainly take us back to Godhead. And it's sufficient. It's fine. So we don't have to hurry for second initiation for sure. But in the temples, especially if one is doing temple worship, deity worship, then second initiation is required. So one can have an aspiration, it's fine, especially if they're attached to deities, deity worship in temple and cooking, like cooking in deity kitchen and things like that. That first initiation devotees are not. They can assist, like they can help in like maybe chopping vegetables and stuff like that, but they cannot cook. Now, different temples may have little different standards, but especially in the altar, the second initiation. So that's like, you can say there are certain mantras they have to chant, there are certain, Gayatri, etc. they have to do 3 times a day. And the other things continue, reading, hearing, chanting, etc., etc. That they continue. They basically show their commitment more in sadhana, seva, and then they may get second initiation, at least after, I would say 1 to 2 years minimum. But it's not a must thing. It's not like a class 1 to class 2 and class 3. It's not like that. Does that help?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Very nice. So I'll summarize the whole thing. We covered a lot of things today, and sorry, I didn't plan it very well. Maybe it took more time than you all thought. And maybe my nature of over speaking. So I hope you'll forgive me for any delays I caused. But we spoke about GBC, we spoke about the rules and regulations, we spoke about some guidelines and structure. We spoke about the living guru, we spoke about the ISKCON guidelines, the process of initiation, prior to initiation, the engagement analogy we discussed, right? Then the 1 year minimum, right? From the shelter, if that's a critical. The day you take shelter, then that means you officially approach your guru, either directly or indirectly, that I want to select this as my guru, or I want to be a disciple of so. That's basically, you can say, the day the clock, minimum 1 year from there. We don't have to hurry too much, but at the same time, we don't have to make it a multi-lifetime approach, right? Right, because we don't know how many days or years we have. So we talked about the incremental process we can take every Ekadashi or every month or so. Totally depend on your sincerity and but I would say, and when you're not sure, ask your mentors, ask your teachers, approach them. Please approach them. It's kind of not a very healthy situation that you're not approaching your mentors. When approaching them doesn't mean, Prabhuji, how are you? Are you okay? How is your family? That's not like approaching them, correct? And then they'll ask you, is your family? We need to open up ourselves. That's basically approaching. We need to tell, where are we struggling? We need to tell what's on our mind. We need to tell what's going good, what's not going good. In the beginning, the mentor may approach more. Like I said, the 1 to 10 analogy also. In the beginning, your mentees or your friends, whatever, don't go with the words, right? I said I may use them interchangeably, but the essence is the people you're caring for. In the beginning, a person, let's say someone who's not chanting, they may not have the motivation to approach you. I'm fine, life is going cool, right? What bhakti you're talking about? So in the beginning, we have to approach more. But for the next level, like all of you, those who are chanting, right? Those who are sincerely trying, they should have the inclination, because they know I need this bhakti, I need to improve. Are you understanding the difference? They should have the inclination little more to approach their superiors and shiksha gurus, mentors. I'm struggling here. I need more improvement here. Can you help me with this? But we should not expect that from the people whom we are guiding, based on their level they are at. If someone is, let's say you call someone, they're showing no interest, no worries. We have 500 more people to reach out to, right? Okay, that's pretty much it. I won't cover more content, but we'll kind of wrap up here. Let's take a few reflections, thoughts, or comments before we wrap up for the day.
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji, can I ask something like, if someone decided, the gurus with whom he or she wants to take shelter, so like how I will should I approach to my mentor about taking the shelter, or like the disciple course I have to submit before that? What's the process, Prabhuji?
Yes, you have to approach to your mentors, temple president, authorities, if you have decided. And this discussion can happen during the process also. Like I would share like how we share about like a general practitioner. We approach them regularly and tell them how our health is going. But if something like a major step is there, we approach them more, correct? So it's like a spiritual guide is like a spiritual doctor. So we should keep telling that, okay, I'm searching for a guru. I'm not sure yet, but I'm thinking of this and this guru as my potential guru. I want to take shelter. They may add some comments. They may say, okay, maybe you can read the book they have written. Maybe you can hear the classes here, right? It's always a good idea. And once that you have made that choice, the question you specifically asked, then yes, we should approach. We should tell them. They will tell us. Now, this may vary upon guru to guru. Someone, sometimes they may arrange, like I will give Ramai Pran Prabhu's example. So they asked me, I arranged a meeting on Zoom with his graduation Shika Prabhu, his worshipable spiritual master, and the shelter ceremony. In some other cases, we may write an email. In some other cases, some senior Vaishnava may give their pranam mantra. And at that point, from shelter ceremony onwards, you will start chanting the Guru's pranam mantra also, along with Prabhupada's pranam mantra. And that happens through, again, senior devotees, shiksha gurus, temple authorities, etc. Does that answer?
Yeah. Okay, Prabhuji. Okay. So, and then disciple course, eventually, before taking the initiation, we need to submit, right? We need to complete.
Yeah.
Or
see, disciple course is ideally it should be done before even selection. Ideally, because all these content which I'm sharing, actually, many of the things are in the disciple course. So even if someone is chanting 4 rounds, they can take disciple course, and it doesn't take a lot of time either. If you give like how much time? 2 weeks. 2 weeks is on like a Zoom, on like the classes on Zoom, etc. 2 weeks. 2 weeks means like slow. Like if you give 2 hours a day, you'll be done in 2 weeks. If you give 10 hours a day, 2 days you can. But again, I like the 10 hours a day becomes too much to absorb, like overload of content. I like a little bit more. You can spread across maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So it doesn't take a lot. If you choose now, you can complete in 2-3 weeks a disciple course, or based on your time comfort. At max, if someone is really doing it slowly, month is more than sufficient. So I would suggest, and why I'm sharing this, I want to communicate that I am not going to be able to communicate to those 500 people. So I'm trusting all of you to pass on this messages also as it is to the people you meet, and when they ask these questions to you. So ideally, the preferred and the recommended approach is take it before, so that you know more about what is Guru, whom to select, whom not to select. All these things, many of these things are covered in disciple course, and that one can do even after even one is like 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds, etc. For disciple course, there is no requirement of 16 rounds. But yeah, that's the ideal process, recommended process. And if you have not done, and you can, what I'm saying is you can delay the engagement a month, not a big deal. So you are more equipped and you are making a more informed decision, right? So taking shelter is compared to engagement, right, in a marriage. So
Yes.
making a more informed decision. So as your well-wisher and servant, I would encourage that you take the disciple course, takes only 2-3 weeks, then you will be more firm in your decision.
Okay, Prabhuji. Very helpful. Thank you. Thank you all. And thank you, His Grace Prabhuji too, and all the devotees too.
Anything else before we wrap up? Any reflections? My Pran Prabhu, Saranya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanavat Pranam. This was very refreshing, Prabhuji. It reminds me of a lot of faults that I still have and way to improve. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. And also to Sridham Prabhuji. Thank you. Dhanavat Pranam.
Very well. Thank you, Prabhu. Saranya Mataji, want to share anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. And I just don't know where I have to begin, but I'll begin by saying, please accept my apologies. I was late to the class, and I'll make sure I'll be on time for the next class. I don't know, Prabhuji. I'm kind of lost, actually. When
Sorry.
ISKCON Prabhu and I always thought that we have no hope for initiations at all, because we are so entangled in the family roots, the material roots, like snakes. They're always there with us, injecting whatever. So we have always thought there's no hope, but we should do what we can, and take association is what we thought. But after Sadhu Sangha, each hour I thought, if ISKCON Prabhu is there, it'll be very nice. But after that, it's like, at least for my mind, Prabhuji, my thing is like before Sadhu Sangha, after Sadhu Sangha. After Sadhu Sangha, I'm also feeling, okay, I can start from 8 rounds, I'm doing 10 rounds. This last 4 days, I did 2 more extra rounds to 10 rounds. I am making a point to, yes, I have to chant more. I want to be a servant of a bona fide spiritual master. All that feelings is in me. But I don't know. And as Rame Pran Prabhu said, so many, like when you're talking, I thought that I don't reach out to you more. I don't ask questions to you or Manjulali Mataji or anybody. I'm just confining myself to hearing those like little kirtans, little classes, and I feel that so much, and I don't know. Prabhuji. I don't know what I have to say, but very, very eye-opening class. 30 years of my life has just gone. I don't know how much time I have, and I feel my clock has not started clicking because I'm not doing the 16 rounds yet. But please pray for me that I should carry this mood and I should start improving my chanting. I don't know, Prabhuji. This is what I feel right now.
Thank you for your genuine, feelings and sharing. It's your sincerity and as we discussed, continuous improvement, right? As someone may take 2 months to chant 16 rounds, someone may take 2 years, and someone may take 10. They're all noble in our eyes, and we should give them a lot of respect. But we should not feel hopeless, we should feel helpless. Krishna is our hope. Vaishnavas are our hope. Prabhupada said, don't feel hopeless, feel helpless, and Krishna will help us.
Yeah.
In that mode we should chant. And one day we will overcome. Yes? One day we will cross over.
Yeah.
Tell you my stories. Same thing I said to my mother when I was in college in the first year. I saw devotees, some were initiated, some were chanting 16 rounds, and I was like a new guy in Goa and studying and whatnot, and thinking I'm the center of the world and everyone should obey me. And then I met devotees, and then I asked them, what do you do? What's your routine? What you do? Just chanting and all? Like, you do anything else? 16 rounds seems to be a lot. And then called my mother. I said, like, these people are nice and all, but I can't do this 16 rounds, and this is like too much. Like, it's okay to be nice, chant maybe sometimes 10, 15 minutes, but 2 hours almost. My mother said, don't worry, do the best you can. And rest is history, right? I'm still struggling, I'm still full of faults, but therefore continuous improvement. Make a plan. Krishna will help us. Krishna will give us time. Krishna will give us more strength, inspiration, energy to do better. So make a plan. Like, okay, right now I'm chanting 8 rounds, and that discuss with your superiors. Right now I'm chanting 8. I have, set some goals. It's okay, like smart goals. Set some smart goals. Like in the kids' class, set some goals. It's okay. That I want to start chanting 16 rounds. Maybe a bigger project divided into smaller parts. I'm right now 16 is the minimum actually. Right now, any big task we should divide in small. Then it will see. Then you just focus on the one step ahead. Right now I'm chanting 8 or 10. I have to increase just one more round. I have to increase one more round next month, or one more round after by next Ekadashi. Then it seems the mind, the biggest thing is the mind. The mind, it gets easier, right? Just one round, 7 more minutes. Can I cut down my waste time 7 minutes? Probably, right? Then it'll make it easy. You see, that's how we have to train our mind. And then Guru, and if someone is sincere like you, Guru and Krishna mercy is flowing. It's flowing. You were asking where to start. That's what we are. We start here. Start to here. You met so many great sadhus in sadhu sangha. Here, if you already feel connection from someone, hear them more. Do the ISKCON disciple course. Set up a timeline that, okay, next 3 months I have to finish it. Then develop a time, right? That every hour I'll devote something, or every day I'll devote some time, right? Take those breaks, spiritual breaks, like you took a spiritual break in sadhu sangha. If you take like 2 days of spiritual break, you can complete the ISKCON disciple course. So that's your next step. Gradually increase your round, do the ISKCON disciple course, hear more from the sadhus you get inspiration from.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very helpful. I'll take your what you have advised me. Yeah.
And be happy. Don't feel hopeless. Bhakti is joy, right?
Yes,
Prabhuji. Joy with everyone. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're a little over time. I don't know. I didn't give an end time, so and many didn't attend either, so that's okay. But I'm happy to have this discussion. Hope it was meaningful. Please forgive me for my shortcomings. I'm, a blind person who is himself struggling, but whatever, I just want to do what little I can, and all of you are helping and assisting me in so many ways. That's my only intention. And if I cause any inconvenience, any words were not inappropriate, anything, was anything shortcoming, that's my shortcoming. If anything good you found today, that's all from our worshipable teachers and Guru Parampara. So with that note, I'll pause for today and we will meet again. I will share based on everyone's comfort when that next class would be. But those who could not join, please come up with more questions, come up with more reflections, reflect upon it, come up with questions, reflections, so we can have a more engaging discussion. Jagat Guru Śrī Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namo. Thank you, and thank you especially Sridham Prabhu for all your support and blessings. Hari Bol.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Krishna.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hari Bol.
Prabhuji.